It's Monday, July 10th, 2023, and I'm Dave Sobel. Two things to know today. The labor market rebounds, what IT services companies need to know, and how the overturning of affirmative action impacts tech talent acquisition. This is the business of tech. We're talking about wages again, with things looking better for the economy. The number of vacant job openings fell by 496,000 in May, the Labor Department said, suggesting a cooling of demand for workers. But the same report showed that the number of workers voluntarily quitting their jobs rose by 250,000, a sign that they still feel empowered. Meanwhile, the number of people hired was up by 107,000, and the number laid off down slightly at 35,000. The unemployment rate dropped to 3.6% in June. 4 million people quit their jobs in May, down from the Great Resignation peak, but still historically high. The monthly number of layoffs and discharges at 1.6 million in May remains low. CompTIA analysis of that data shows tech sector companies increased headcount by 5,348 jobs last month, and the unemployment rate for tech occupations edged up to 2.3%. Also Monday morning, payroll processor ADP said the private sector added a stunning 497,000 jobs in June. A disproportionate percentage of the tech workers laid off since last fall appear to be women. From October 2022 to June 2023, women made up 45% of laid-off tech employees, according to an analysis of 3,404 workers by layoffs.fyi. About 55% of laid-off workers were male, the research shows. But the industry statistics put the share of male employees in tech at a much higher level, said Roger Lee, the founder of layoffs.fyi. One reason? Many layoffs weren't technical, but HR, recruiting, and marketing. I want to highlight something I spotted in an Atlantic article. Let's quote this paragraph. The most recent economic data make clear that the unemployment rate was significantly undercounting the pool of available workers. Even as the official number remains pinned to historic lows, 4 million workers have jobs over the past year. The labor market was in better shape than many experts thought. Inflation and wage growth have both been slowing down. This did not require a multi-year span of high unemployment. As Summer suggested, to the contrary, the economy keeps adding jobs. And I also want to draw on some analysis from the New York Times related to the ending of the Great Resignation. Quote, the Great Resignation was often portrayed as a phenomenon of people quitting work altogether, but the data tells a different story. Most of them quit to take other, typically better paying jobs, or like Ms. Moya, to start businesses. And while turnover increased in virtually all industries, it was concentrated in low-wage services, where workers have generally had little leverage. Why do we care? For IT services companies, it's a tale of two situations. Internally, IT companies should be aware that the market remains very tight. Technical resources are scarce and in demand. And big tech layoffs mostly mean non-technical resources. You're in luck if you need HR, recruiting, and marketing. Yet otherwise should not consider a shift. You also have an opportunity to recruit with a broader lens. Yet for customers, it's industry-powered. You'll want to do your own analysis for your customers and understand their needs, but expect that in most cases, outsourced or consultative help will be welcome in a tighter labor market. That could be because of wage pressure in lower-paying roles where automation is welcome, or in higher-paying roles where people are scarce. And do not be dismissive of the new business surge that was created. Those are potential customers. The good news is that it's good news. Let's brush aside any economic hangover, as the U.S. market appears pretty healthy. Let's catch up on the Supreme Court ruling overturning affirmative actions in colleges. I spotted some thoughts in Axios related to the impact on companies. Quote, companies will face a talent pipeline problem. When states have banned affirmative action, enrollment of Black students in universities declined, and that decrease in campus diversity could translate into a less diverse workforce. Indeed, one 2013 study from economist Fidian Anna Kurtilis found that workplaces became less diverse in states where the practice was outlawed. And this quote, "It remains lawful for employers to implement diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility programs that seek to ensure workers of all backgrounds are afforded equal opportunity in the workplace," said Charlotte Burrows, the chair of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, in a statement Thursday. The Washington Post has a related story noting that this ruling may have specific impacts in tech, and many companies profiled cited that specific tech talent problem. Why do we care? Consider the need to invest more in your pipeline of candidates. One of the critical observations for many in hiring in SMB is that small companies need to develop the muscle of hiring and learn in fits and starts instead. Looking for talent is an ongoing, never-ending process, like sales and marketing, and should be continually invested in. We should all collectively note that building candidates is something the industry needs to invest in, as the previous story continues to highlight the need for more tech workers. Ditch your VPN. VPNs are awful, outdated, clunky, hard to use, and create security vulnerabilities. TwinGate's Zero Trust Network Access is easy to deploy and even easier to use and manage, while always making resources secure and invisible. With native integrations with MDMs, EDRs, and DNS filters, TwinGate enhances your security with the full power of your cybersecurity stack. TwinGate melts into the background, providing intuitive access and lightning-fast connections with the lowest latency. You'll forget you're using a remote access solution at all. Want to learn more? Check out the white paper on why you should ditch your VPN at twingate.com/podcast. Thanks for listening. Today is National Kitten Day. Considering how much the internet loves cats, this one had to be highlighted. Unless you prefer International Town Criers Day, I will talk to you again tomorrow. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. Like the content? Support the show at patreon.com/MSP Radio or buy our Why Do We Care merch at businessof.tech. If you want to reach our listeners, visit mspradio.com/engage.
Part of the MSP Radio Network.